Michael, and you know, we did it because he told us that we could work with him on issues like this. He would help us stop these sorts of bills, and he would even buck leadership if he had to, if it was really moving Pennsylvania in the wrong direction. So we took a risk. You know, we like to endorse some Republicans every time, and we endorsed the guy, and we really are starting to regret it now. And honestly, the Republicans are making it harder and harder for us to be able to endorse any of them, because as long as they just follow in lockstep with whatever their leadership tells them to do, you know, what's the point in talking to anyone but their top dogs? So, you know, Clean Water Action's really bummed about this. Our mission is twofold. It's to protect public health and also to restore democracy. And this is a real bummer move for democracy, frankly. You know, Pennsylvania has pretty clear divisions of powers. For years and years and years, for good or bad, towns have had power over where businesses and residences and other industry gets to go. Municipal zoning is enshrined in Pennsylvania law. That's how we do it here. But you know, other states do other ways, and that's fine too, as long as they consistently do it that way. But when an industry comes along and it can say, oh, we want a special rule just for us, then democracy isn't working. You know, Walmart, great big company, if they want to open up a new store in a residential zone, they got to go before a zoning hearing board. If a daycare center wants to open up a new store in a residential zone, they got to go before a zoning hearing board. Grocery stores have to do it. Why do natural gas drilling wells, which sometimes blow up, get a special exemption? So we along with our coalition's partners, organized this letter and got 75 local elected leaders, which are people who were voted into office, as well as about 10 towns to pass their own resolutions on a letter saying, you know, protect local zoning. This is how we do it here. This is how democracy works in Pennsylvania. And the senators still voted in the final form for a bill that stripped those powers away because it's more important that the gas industry makes a bunch of money than democracy keeps working. So it's a bummer. So I'm glad you guys are here with us to help say that, and thanks for being here.
Then Robin from the Sierra Club, who's one of the big people fighting for this against this bill, is also going to say a few words.
Thank you, and thank you for organizing this, Adam. Sierra Club was very closely involved with our colleagues in advocating against this bill. And one of the things that is so tremendously, disappointing is that Senator Erickson actually committed to opposing this legislation because it was stripping local governments of their ability to stop the drillers and have zoning power to do so. So he remained on a commitment. One of the things that we are finding is that there are a lot of hidden provisions in this legislation that are just coming to light. Our state director, Jeff Schmidt, reported to me that in the 174-page bill that was written behind closed doors by the governor and legislators that are in the drilling industry, there is a provision that requires doctors to sign a commitment of secrecy if they're given information about the chemicals that their patients are exposed to if there's a drilling accident. And we're just discovering this. It's an unbelievable thing. It's silencing doctors from being able to communicate about, drilling chemicals that are poison. We got a commentary about this from a doctor at George Washington University just came through today. He said, I feel strongly that this language is detrimental to the delivery of personal health care services and contradictory to the ethical principles of medicine and public health. This legislation would block healthcare professionals and public health professionals from collecting information in a timely fashion to treat workers or others who have been exposed to hazardous chemicals and from gathering information about public health hazards. I think what we hope is that someone with presumed integrity and someone we looked up to with Ted Erickson was not aware of a provision like this in this legislation. It is so shockingly bad and against the public interest. It's just hard to fathom. We will be working with our colleague organizations on accountability and